Alrighty, everybody, let's talk weather. Carson Meredith here on a Sunday night, 7:35. It's November 16th. Thanksgiving is now, 9 days away? Or no, what is it? 11 days away. Math, it can be tough. We're getting closer and closer, of course, to Turkey Week. But before we get to Turkey Week, we've got to talk about a lot of wet weather for this upcoming week. And there's some trends tonight that I'm going to share with you that make me a little nervous about heavy rain and flooding, potentially. I'm not sounding alarm bells or anything like that. It's just that it looks like this wet weather pattern may actually stick around a little while longer than it already looked like it would, based on some of the trends that we may be starting to see. So that's a long-form way of saying we've got a lot of rain to talk about. Let's get outside tonight, where it's all quiet and clear. Gorgeous sunset. I hope you watched us at 6 o'clock tonight. We had a gorgeous view from our downtown camera of the sunset. It was a gorgeous day, bright blue skies, just a few passing little thin wispy clouds. It was beautiful out there, even if it was cooler than where we were on Saturday. 51 is where we are at tonight in Louisville. The breeze has been with us all day today, as it was yesterday, except it was a cooler breeze out of the northwest on your Sunday. And it's still out there tonight. We're already down into the 40s in southern Indiana, 46 in Bedford, 45 in Paoli, 47 in Seymour, 43 in North Vernon. Actually, pretty much all of us, except for Louisville and Bardstown, are in the 40s already. And we'll keep on tumbling into the low 30s overnight tonight. So we went from 76 Saturday afternoon to 34 in Louisville on Monday morning. So about a 32-degree drop in 36 hours. That's November around here. So heavy coat, certainly a good idea heading out the door tomorrow. Hats and gloves for the kids at the bus stop, probably a good as well. We'll rebound nicely as the day goes on. Back close to where we were today, to be honest with you. 57. Our forecast here in Louisville tomorrow. A lot of you likely in that 55, 56, 57 range. Slightly cooler up towards North Vernon, Seymour, Bedford, 53, 54. We may be able to touch 60 down towards Litchfield, Munfordville, and Columbia. We'll see. But yeah, all in all, a pretty typical day tomorrow. And also a dry day tomorrow, likely the last dry day that we will see for a while. That doesn't mean we're going to have constant washouts once we get past Monday. It just means that we don't really have any days that are totally dry either. Here's the big picture view tonight. You can see high pressure. The big blue H is in full control. It's a pretty strong ridge that we've got tonight. You can see all those snow showers across the northeast. Cold front that moved through last night is in the deep south. So that's going to keep things calm tonight and calm during the day tomorrow. Having said that, sliding to the west. See this boundary over Texas? It's stalled out right now, but eventually it's going to be able to work its way further to the east and slightly to the north, and eventually is going to stall out in your wave country. I still expect that front to hover somewhere between Louisville and Nashville. So as a result, we're going to have multiple waves of these showers and storms to contend with starting on Tuesday. So let's focus on Tuesday because we have a little more specifics for you on how that first round of heavy rain could play out. Again, during the day tomorrow, we're in good shape. I think if you have any plans tomorrow evening, those should be okay too. After midnight tomorrow night, though, you start to see those rain chances slowly but surely climb. And for now, I've got them peaking around 80%, close to the morning rush hour. And if we have pockets of heavier rain, you guys know the drill. We may have to flag it for an alert day if we've got heavy rain during the rush hour, because that's not a good combination. We'll watch the trends carefully with that. But it's not going to be an all-day heavy rain, but you're going to have various times where that rain is heavier and when it's lighter. It's going to be sticking around all day. So here's Futurecast. This again for Tuesday specifically. We're just focusing on Tuesday right now. This is 2 a.m. and you see the first of the showers are moving into southern Indiana especially. Obviously the clouds are thickening up too. You go later into Tuesday morning. This is 6 a.m. Notice how there's not a ton of heavier pockets. There's not a ton of yellows or oranges. So the heavy rain concern isn't too high at 6 a.m. Tuesday. You get towards 9 or 10 o'clock, here we go. You see a lot more yellows, a lot more oranges, a lot more reds. That's where you're going to have those pockets of heavier rain. And that's also where you could have a few embedded thunderstorms as well. Kind of surprised me, to be honest with you, looking at the high resolution data today, that these showers and storms are a little more, what's the right word? Robust, I guess. They have a little more of a kick with them. And that's the main issue. It's just going to be these waves of heavier rain on Tuesday. Some of the AI tools, I don't have it in my discussion here tonight, but some of those AI tools that we use to look at severe weather risk do even go as far as suggesting that some of these stronger storms Tuesday, these heavier storms, if you will, could have a marginal wind or hail concern. So we'll watch it. There's no risk from the Storm Prediction Center at this point, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if maybe we had one or two storms that maybe had a 40-mile-an-hour gust, maybe even some small hail. I wouldn't totally rule that out, but I don't see a major severe weather concern on Tuesday. The main issue is going to be heavy rain. And again, if that heavy rain moves in during the morning rush hour, we're going to have some problems. Just bottom line, prepare for a messy Tuesday, morning, afternoon, and night with this first round of rain that rolls through. This is the HRRR model. The extended model only goes out until 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon at this point, but you get the idea. We're still dealing with these waves of heavier downpours or thunderstorms into Tuesday afternoon. Now, as we mentioned, this is kind of the first wave of the week. As we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday, I do think we get a reprieve in the steadier, heavier stuff. That doesn't mean that we're going to be completely dry. It just means we'll have some smaller showers, lighter showers instead. So that's the first part. Tuesday night and Wednesday looks okay, I guess, relatively speaking. Still cloudy, still some light showers, but nothing too heavy. Then we get into Thursday, all right? Remember, all the while, that warm front, or really just a stalled front, is still right over us. I still think it's between Louisville and Nashville for days. But as we get into Thursday, our next cold front, which is way out here Thursday night in the plains, is going to give this warm front a kick to the north. So it's going to be like the friend that comes along and tries to get the other friend going after having too much fun on a Sunday night, right? So as that happens, you're going to see an increase in shower and storm coverage Thursday along the warm front. Once again, maybe a few heavier downpours in the mix, perhaps a few storms. I don't see any severe concern on Thursday. Thursday night, that warm front gets that kick north up into Ohio and Pennsylvania. We get a little break. Late Thursday night, perhaps early Friday. Perhaps. As we talked about last night, the timing of the cold front on Friday has been all over the place. Tonight's data suggests that front's moving through Friday afternoon. Now, would that mean potential thunderstorms? Sure. But I will tell you, there's still not much of a severe signal for Friday either. Quite honestly, guys, the best severe weather signal is actually Tuesday. And even then, it's not a whole lot. But you get the idea. It's just going to be these off and on periods of showers and storms. All day Tuesday, most of the day Thursday, and then at some point on Friday, the cold front's going to move in. We're still trying to nail down exactly when that front's going to roll through. Last night when we were talking, it was probably going to be midday Friday. It keeps slowing down, though, to where the front may not move through, maybe not at all on Friday. Let's explain why. This is 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Here's 1 p.m. on Saturday. So let's fast forward 24 hours. The first low pressure gets a big-time move on up into Canada Friday night. But as it does so, it leaves the cold front in the dust. Low pressures kind of carry these fronts along, relatively speaking, all right? So as a result, this front just kind of gets stuck along the I-65, I-75 corridor. And a lot of times when that happens, where a front gets stuck, a cold front gets stuck and stalls out, a lot of times another low pressure likes to develop along that front. The European model, which is what I'm showing you guys tonight, suggests as we get into Saturday that a secondary low tries to develop in the deep south, down towards Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. And that low basically rides along that front as we head into Saturday. And for us, that means, you guessed it, better rain chances for next weekend. So we may not be totally done with the rain as we head into the weekend. There's been a consistent signal for at least another round of rain some point next weekend. But initially, it looked like we'd get a little bit of a break between Friday and Sunday. But if we get this secondary low to develop to our south and it lifts northward, we're not going to get much of a break, as you see here on Futurecast. So we'll start to see showers move back in Saturday afternoon, I'd say. Keep those showers around much of next Sunday. Maybe seeing some pockets of heavier rain across Kentucky next Sunday. And again, I'm getting really deep in the weeds here, but it's just a trend that I don't like, because a lot of times the European catches onto these trends early. So when I see something like this, it kind of makes me pay attention a little more. Now, if you get this kind of setup where the front's stuck and the low rides along that front, that means you're going to have training of heavier rain over the same spots time and time again. That's similar to what happened back in April with the historic flooding we had. And depending on the exact location of the front and the secondary low, where the low goes, there is a possibility that parts of wave country could see some rather substantial rainfall as we get towards the end of the week and into next weekend. Completely forgetting about the fact that we're going to see a pretty good soaking rain on Tuesday, right? So we're going to be waterlogged if this scenario were to play out. So this is next Sunday night. So like this time, 1 week from now, we get into the Monday of Thanksgiving week, maybe a few more lingering showers, but I'm hopeful, at least for the early part of Turkey week, we will get some sort of a break. And then what happens for Thanksgiving weekend itself is a whole nother story that I will touch on in a moment. So I hope that makes sense. It's a very, you guys know these kind of setups where one thing affects the next, which affects the next, which affects the next. It's a slippery slope, right? And if one little step on that slope changes, it changes everything, right? So this is going to be a very touch and go forecast this week as we try to nail down exactly when each wave of rain moves in. And then by the end of the week, we got to figure out if we're going to be in a situation where another low develops to our south and wants to lift into our area. If that were to happen, we're going to have more rain into the weekend, and our risk for heavy rain would go up too. This is a general idea of how much rain we could see if that secondary low were to move in this upcoming weekend. You notice the higher rainfall totals would be in our Kentucky county specifically. Southern Indiana, you guys would probably be looking at about 1 to 3 inches of rain over the next 7 days, which is what we've been advertising. But if we get that secondary system next weekend, we may have a problem, especially in Kentucky. As it stands right now, we could see some rainfall amounts closer to 4, 5, maybe 6 inches over the next 7 days. And that can certainly increase our flooding concern. I'm not too worried about flooding for the work week because it's all spread out over several days, right? It would just be ponding. We talked about that last night. But again, if we get that secondary low, rides along a stalled front next weekend, you're going to just have a fire hose of nonstop rain that's heavy at times. That will add up quickly, and that could cause some flooding concerns. So that is not a slam dunk, guys. Let me make that perfectly clear. Next weekend could be drier, maybe not sunny, probably not sunny, but it may be drier. Let's hope that's the case. But I just wanted to kind of give you that earliest alert that next weekend may be trending wetter, and it could be a concerning trend when it comes to the heavy rain potential by then as well. So that's where we are at this point. I'll pop up the 10-day and I'll answer your questions. I know I've been rambling for 20 minutes, so forgive me, but here you go. Not a lot of blue on our 10-day, unfortunately. Tomorrow's great. During the day, good to go. Get outside, enjoy it. If you have a 3-day weekend, if you want to be productive on your day off tomorrow, another good chance to put the holiday lights up. You don't have to turn them on. If you want to wait till later, that's fine. But it might be a good idea to hang them up before all this rain moves in. Tuesday, waves of heavy rain and storms throughout the day. We'll watch the timing closely for that heavy rain for the morning drive in particular on Tuesday. And there is still a chance for 1 or 2 gusty storms. I'm not overly worried about it, but we'll be watching it. Wednesday, drier, not totally dry. Thursday and Friday, the next wave of rain and storms moves in. And then next weekend, very much up in the air. It all comes down to how quickly the front moves out and if another low tries to develop south of us. If that were to happen, we've got problems. If not, then the weekend would be maybe a little drier again. Not totally dry, but a little drier. Did you get all that? It's a busy setup for sure. As we've been talking about, we've seen this signal for weeks. Brian's talked about it, where mid to late November was going to get wild, and here we are. Right on cue. All right, going to the top of the comments since I haven't gone through them so far tonight. Who's here? Anita's here. Hello, hello. Let's see. Is here on YouTube. Not a fan of this rain, but I lost the first snow contest. Oh, man. You were early with your guess. What is today, 16th? A little early. But you know what? We had a shot around this time last week, right? We had a chance. I'm still in good shape. I got about a month left, so I'm good. Adam's here. Michael C. Wells, am I going to get the yard cut Tuesday through Friday? Probably not. Probably not. It's even if you tried, it would be very muddy, very soupy by then. Gary's getting the ark ready in Pewee Valley. Shonda's here. Hello. Bradley on YouTube. Hello. What's the threat with storms? Any tornado threats this week? I do not see much of a tornado threat at all. No, not at all. If we are going to see any strong storms, it would be wind, and maybe a little hail, but I think mainly wind. If we see severe storms or strong storms, and that's not a guarantee. The main issue is the heavy rain. Let's see. Stacy, hello. How many inches of rain are we supposed to get this week? I think across the board, we're probably looking at about 1 to 3 inches of rain. But as we talked about, if that weekend rain, if that signal still holds, especially across Kentucky, we're going to see much higher rainfall amounts over 3 inches. So everybody during the work week is going to get around 1 to 3. If we see that heavier rain set up next weekend, like that we discussed, we could easily see those amounts go over 3 inches, especially in our Kentucky counties. So that's kind of where we are with the totals at this point. Hello, Ann. Big fan of the cooler weather. ZK's here. Cat Hair Proud. Haven't had sound for your forecast in the app all weekend. Ads have sound, and when graphics change, not your dulcet tones. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I was made aware of that just an hour ago. I had no idea. It had sounded good on my end. So once I'm done here, I'm going to probably spend the rest of the night troubleshooting that. But thank you for the heads up. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out for sure. Richard says, hello. Good day for solar-powered Christmas lights. I'll be honest, I've never heard of those. It's interesting. Sounds interesting. Ian also says snow would be preferable. I bet a lot of you would rather just see 7 days of snow, 7 out of the 10 days being snow, wouldn't you? Adam, on Friday, could we be in the warm sector between the warm front to our north and the cold front to our west? Yes, but there's not going to be a ton of instability at this point. We're just going to be socked into clouds, and the signal for severe storms, it was never really all that strong to begin with, and at least for now, it's dropped off quite a bit. That can still change, Adam. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm not seeing much of a signal at this point. Storms, possible, very much so. Severe storms, not really on the table at the moment. But we'll keep watching it. Stephen asked the $1 million question. What does Thanksgiving look like as far as temperatures and conditions are concerned? Okay, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Not just the holiday itself, but the whole week. I'm going to leave your comment up, Steve, so people know what we're talking about. So you see the end of the 10-day now has the first part of Thanksgiving week in view. I am hopeful, based on what I have seen over this weekend, that we will get some drier weather next Monday, next Tuesday, and next Wednesday. So if a lot of you are going out of town, I think will be drier. Notice I'm saying drier, not totally dry. But the early part of Thanksgiving week looks okay. What about the holiday weekend itself? There is still a system on the board for Thanksgiving weekend, moving into wave country. From what I have seen, the day that I'm kind of looking at right now is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. There are some models that have a convective look to them, i.e. rain and storms. And the European model in particular, excuse me, the European model in particular does have a hint of rain turning to snow on the back side of that system as it moves out next weekend. next Saturday, or 2 Saturdays from now, November 29th. It's way too early for specifics. Beyond that, Thanksgiving isn't even in our 10-day. It will be tomorrow. So we're going to start really nailing down Thanksgiving weekend beginning tomorrow. But there is going to be a system moving through Thanksgiving weekend. Excuse me. Right now, it looks like around the day after Thanksgiving, but that can and will change. But I do think there will be something that moves through Thanksgiving weekend. Will it be rain? Will it be storms? Will it be snow? Time will tell. But that system is really going to bring in that colder air that you guys have probably heard all about on social media lately. So the first week of December does look quite a bit cooler. I'm not ready to say, bitterly cold yet, but it does look cooler for sure. About a couple weeks. So I hope that answered your question, Steve. Really good question. I know a lot of folks are wondering about that already. Todd's here. Any signals for burst of tropical or severe in December? Tropical, no. I think we're done with tropical for the year. I'm very, very confident in that. Severe weather, not at least initially in December, because we're going to be trending colder. But as you guys know, we've had severe weather many a time in December. So I don't see a huge severe signal now, but obviously that could still change. Adam says that secondary low would be a perfect winter storm track on Saturday of next weekend. Yes, it would. Yes, it most definitely would. Let's see. All right. Kathy, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Shonda says at least going to be warm. Yeah, I mean, Tuesday will kind of be a chilly rain. Chilly rain and thunder, I suppose. But we do get in the mid 60s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even with the wet weather. So get a little warmer air back in here. A few more comments and then we'll wrap it up for the night, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Jessica, hello. As far as flooding, if we do have any flooding concern, would that include places like Okolona? Again, I'm not ready to go specific neighborhood by neighborhood because that may not even happen. We may not have to worry about flooding, okay? But if we did see that heavier rain setup next weekend, it would be an issue across Kentucky primarily right now. Beyond that, I don't want to get into specifics because it's not a guarantee that that will happen. It's just something we have to keep an eye on in the days to come. Let's see. All right, couple more. Kelly, hello. I've seen people posting about a severe storm system Thanksgiving Day and Friday. Yep, you're exactly right, Kelly. These folks, whether they're actual meteorologists or not, you can never tell anymore. They want to scare everybody with single screenshots of models and things like that. That's kind of the system that I was talking about for Thanksgiving weekend. But please understand that is what, 11 days away, 12 days away until that Thursday, Black Friday window. So we're not even close to being set in stone with that. Is there elements to where we could have some storms with that system? Yes. Is there a possibility that system could end as brief snow? Yes. But we don't know exactly how it's going to play out just yet. So that signal is still there. It's been there for a while. Thanksgiving weekend always has something around here. But it's on our radar, no pun intended. We're watching it for sure. I don't want you guys to get too wrapped up in the social hype, the social media hype, because that's all it is. Unless it's a name you know and a name you trust, tread lightly with it. If you see it on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. Let's see, Luke. I like your profile picture there, Luke. Does December look to be colder and snowier than years past? It looks colder. It looks a little colder, especially to start. Snowy, I'll defer to Brian to give you a much more detailed answer than I ever could on that one. Gary, thanks for laying everything out as you do. I hope it made sense tonight, Gary. There's a ton of little puzzle pieces I had to explain, and I hopefully it made sense for everybody. I appreciate the kind words. But yeah, busy times ahead over the next couple of weeks for sure. But we'll be here. We will be here watching it all. That's going to do it for tonight, guys. It's Sunday night. That means it's football night. We got a good one tonight on Wave. Lions-Eagles. Really good game. At least hopefully it will be. Our newscast will hopefully start around 11:30 or 11:45. So if you're still up late tonight, I hope you'll join us for one last check of your forecast. And if not, I don't blame you. That's late. You can ask my coworkers. Usually I'm trying to stay awake in the 11 o'clock show on Sunday nights, but it is what it is. And so if you got to go to sleep tonight, I don't blame you. Sleep well. Have a good week. Brian will be here with probably storm talk tomorrow. I don't think it'll be snow talk. Who knows? We'll see. And the rest of the crew will be here all week, tracking all these rain and storm chances for you. Once we get past tomorrow, enjoy the sun tomorrow. Enjoy that sunshine tomorrow. And then we'll take care of the rest of the week. We'll go from there. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Take care. I'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.